Thank you. Thank you, John. I, too, would like to welcome Laurel and Warren, as well as Arn Tellem and Jeff Wexler. We're here on other business. And also the players that are here today. You know, after a long search that lasted over 3 weeks, I decided that Mike D'Antoni is the right fit to coach the New York Knicks as we build this team back to contention. Mike is a proven winner in this league with a long, impressive coaching resume in the NBA and abroad. While Mike's style in Phoenix was extremely successful, with a running offensive team, he can adjust his style to the personnel. We will work together to build this team to be competitive as quickly as possible and bring excitement back to Madison Square Garden. I have admired Mike for a long time, and I know exactly what he's capable of as a coach. He teaches his teams how to win, and that's probably the most simplistic but profound statement. I look forward to working with Mike. I think he'll be a great partner to work with to turn this thing around. So, Mike, welcome to the New York Knicks.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank Mr. James Dolan, Donnie, and the Knicks organization. This is a great opportunity for me, and I'm excited to get started. I know the job has to be done, and with Donnie, we'll get it done. So if there's any questions or whatever you'd like to do. Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to open up the questions. Please look for Nick or Allison on the sides for the microphones, get their attention. I think we're going to start on this side. Please state your name and your affiliation.
Sure. Brian Mahoney from the Associated Press. Mike, the general feeling was that maybe this wasn't the right team for you because of the personnel and the style you run. Why did you think otherwise? Well,
I think foremost, having Donnie on my side is a big asset. And, you know, I can adjust the style. This is about the players and about the team that you have and how to win. And that's what we're going to try to do. You know, we were 7 seconds or less. You know, the rules say it has to be 24 seconds or less, and we can adjust it to anything we want.
Mike Howard back from the New York Times.
Hey, Howard.
How difficult a decision was this for you? You obviously had a couple teams pursuing you, and not only the decision to make between Chicago and New York, but just even the decision to leave Phoenix and obviously an established elite team.
I think that was the biggest hurdle, was getting over the emotional ties with Phoenix and coming to a decision that it just wasn't going to work out and leaving Phoenix. Once that happened, then, you know, the two teams that, you know, I was granted permission to talk to, they were both great teams, both are great organizations, and they would have been super jobs. So at that point, it's not a hard decision. It's just trying to make the right decision. And obviously, I think I did you know, for me and my family, the right decision was New York.
Warner Wolf, ESPN, WABC Radio. Mike, welcome to New York.
Thank you, Warner.
Would it be safe to say that perhaps up to 50% of the current 12-man roster might not be around next year?
50%?
Yes.
Well, I don't know that. I mean, you know, I look at the roster, and that's the roster I'm going to win with. And Donnie and I'll work together, and we'll see where you go. Obviously, every NBA team has some turnover, but I didn't come into thinking, oh, you know, we'll have to start from zero. You know, a couple players here, but I like players in general. And I think if they're put in the right position, then, you know, hopefully they can perform and be productive, and that's what we're going to try to do.
On this side.
Coach, Andrew Marchand from 1050 ESPN New York. How much emphasis do you put on defense in your coaching?
That's been a hot topic lately. Well, I know one thing for sure. We averaged 58 wins in 4 years, so 58 times a year, we're the best defensive team on the floor. I do know that. From there, I think every coach tries to coach both sides of the ball. You want to be the best defensive coach, the best offensive coach, but a lot of times your players dictate one is better than the other. And like I said before, we just try to put our players in the best position to win, whether it's offensively or defensively. And to be honest with you, we were really good offensively. So practices and thought and coaching time and film work is all on the defensive end. It wasn't from lack of trying. But, and I think our guys get a little bit of a bad rap in Phoenix that we didn't play defense. You don't win 31 road games without playing defense or rebounding or moving the basketball. And I think our guys did a great job. So I'm proud of them, and that's not going to be an issue.
Mike, Tom McDonald, New York 1. New York's a tough place to work. The landscape is littered with guys that have come here with sterling reputations and have left town. Don Nelson, Lenny Wilkins, Isaiah Thomas, Larry Brown. What is it that you feel you bring to this city basketball-wise that's going to make your difference in some of the people that have failed?
Well, first of all, there's a lot of cities littered with people that have failed. I mean, it's not just New York. Coaching is a tough profession, and the longevity. I think I was in Phoenix my second year, and I had the longest tenure of any Eastern Conference coach. So it's not just New York. It's a hard job, but it's an enjoyable job, and I couldn't think of a better place than coach than New York. Just the lifestyle, the organization is first class. I've got a great guy to work with. I'll love my players and try to bring in a good coaching staff as well as I can, and we're going to tackle it. This is basketball and this is fun, so I'm excited for it.
Coach Bruce Beck, WNBC TV, welcome.
Thanks, Bruce.
How long do you think it will take for this franchise to be respectable, considering how bad the club was last year?
Well, that's one thing I heard about you guys. You'll give me plenty of time, which I imagine up to about the third game in preseason, we need to show that we've turned it around. It's hard to put a timetable. I have no idea. We don't have a crystal ball, but I will guarantee that, there are 30 teams out there right now preparing to make the playoffs next year, and that's what we're going to prepare to do. And we're going to do everything we can to get there. And the only thing I can promise is that we're going to play hard and we're going to be exciting. So, put on your seatbelt and let's go for it.
Hi, Mike. Mark Berman, New York Post. It's
Mark.
been said, you're not a big fan of Stephon Marbury, the point guard. Could you shed some light on that? You did trade him pretty quickly after you became the head coach.
Yeah, I think we traded Quentin Richardson too, and I love Quentin. He's here. I won 62 games with Quentin Richardson, have nothing but great memories. So there is also the business side of basketball that has to be addressed, and I think back in those days in Phoenix, that was kind of a business decision, and I have no problems with Steph whatsoever. I think he's a very talented basketball player, and looking forward to working with him.
Simone Sandri, Gazzetta dello Sport, Italy. How are you, Coach?
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. In Italy, you were known as a coach who actually adapted to his play. You were able to win with an up-tempo, but are you also able to win with a very static big man, for instance, like Rusconi? In the NBA,
See, I'm glad I brought my Italian guy here. That's good. Could you tell him a little bit more?
in the NBA, you have a tag of being up-tempo coach. Do you think there's an unfair tag with adding?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last
Do you
part.
think that's an unfair tag that you have in the NBA just because you coach only one way so far?
Well, that was the way that was successful in Phoenix, and it might not be successful in the next stop. We had a unique team, and I thought we brought the best out of what we had, and hopefully that's what I'm going to do with the Knicks. And to be honest with you, I don't know if, I said before, I don't know if that's as fast up and down as we can go, or it's at a nice pace. I do know there's things that are constant. That's ball movement, spacing, and playing as hard as you can. If we can do that, then the style will be what it is.
John Rothstein, MSG Network. Coach, welcome to New York. When you played New York last year, what's the one trait you think they needed to be more successful, the one thing you noticed?
Well, that's I was just looking to try to beat them. I didn't really care if they were successful or not. Hopefully, I hope they didn't show up. It's hard to come out and say, have a magic wand and say, yeah, if they would have done this. You had a bunch of coaches trying their hardest to get them to play hard or whatever, or to win. And that's what I'm going to do. And we all have different styles and different ways to go about it, and sometimes a different voice is better. I'm not smart enough to figure that one out yet. But again, we'll go through the summer and evaluate everything and then put a great product on the floor.
Back here, David Waldstein, Newark Star Ledger.